feel either impatient or frustrated, and I'm trying to understand, like, why do little silly stuff, it usually be little petty stuff, but I'm trying to figure out, like, well, why do that keep circling back around, little situations that's creating those emotions, frustrated or impatient. What's up with that? And then I got an aha moment when I was washing dishes. So related to impatience and frustration. So the aha moment I got was that both of those are tricks of the devil. And here's what I mean by that. They're tricks of the devil, meaning, so the two dominant energies that dominate anything that we think, feel, or do in terms of behavior, it's the root of it is the root of what we're doing it for. It's either due to love or fear. So everything is rooted in love or fear. Every action, every belief, every thought, every emotion, the at the core, what's triggering that is either from love or fear. And so when I was thinking about, well, why do I keep getting tested on impatience and frustration? Well, it dawned on me that those are, on an energetic level, those are not rooted in love. So those are tricks of the devil, meaning of the mind. And so whenever you allow something in your external environment to trigger you and to drop in your love energetic level, if you drop down into a space of being frustrated or impatient, that's fear-based thinking, fear-based consciousness. And so it's a trick of the devil, because if there was in fact a better way to resolve a problem, or a way to work smarter and rather than work harder, or just any clarity or whatever it is that you might be rushing so that you can get back to. Either way, if you drop down into the realm of where your mindset, you become frustrated or impatient, that's the trick of the devil, because you won't get the clarity and the answers you need from God when you drop down into being impatient or frustrated, because those are logical, monkey-minded, worldly conditioning, programming ways of thinking. Any answer you're going to get from God is going to come from your heart space, and it's going to be subtle. Like they say, God speaks, it's a small, still voice. Okay, so frustration and impatience is loud. So any resolution or any strategy or any way to do something in a more particular way that'll be smarter rather than harder, you won't hear God. You won't even hear it, because it comes from your heart space. That's where God lives at, in the heart space, as far as I'm concerned. And then the answer that you need, or just any creativity or something or whatever it is, if it's coming from God, it's coming from your heart space, and it'll pop up in through your thoughts. But if something is triggering you to be frustrated or impatient, which in my mind is the trick of the devil, it keeps you ruminating in your monkey mind on why you're frustrated. It keeps you blocked off from hearing and getting the message from God the appropriate way. Because fear, frustration, and impatience, God don't speak that language. He doesn't. I mean, you can put whatever words you want to put into it, but anything that's fear-based, God don't speak that language. That's coming from darker energy on the energetic level. That's coming from a darker space. Something the world and program me to think or believe, or something that's got me feeling like I need to be urgent, or so it's not. God don't resonate. He don't vibrate at that level. He's up a little bit high, way higher, in terms of how he communicate, and the things that he put on your mind that come from your heart, that allow you to be in a space of love and peace and joy. That's the vibration, that's the language God speaks. But if you're impatient and frustrated, the trick of the devil, you'll be blocking your connection and the ability to even hear God. And so it can keep you blocked, it keeps you stuck, it keep you frustrated, keep you in a cycle. Whatever's making you impatient and frustrated, you won't even get the epiphany, like I'm grateful that I was able to get tonight about the situation. I got it washing dishes. I was cooling out, and like I said, washing dishes, for whatever reason, that's an activity that drops me out of my monkey mind anyway, my monkey mind space, and just kind of put me into the present moment, where I'm kind of like in a meditative state or whatever. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, that epiphany dropped down into my conscious. And I know that epiphany, where it came from, is God, because I wasn't even focused on it. It's like when you get frustrated, or when you get into a mind space that's based on fear-based logic, or frustration or impatient, anxious, depression, those don't have anything to do with God. That's something to do with the logical mind and programming and fear-based thinking. And so in order to get to the root of what's causing you to be impatient, frustrated, anxious, depression, whatever this thing is, in order to understand what's creating that in your mind space, you cannot stick on it and keep ruminating about it, and just because it'll just amp it up. You have to turn your attention to do something else that you either enjoy doing, or something that's fun, or something that's lighthearted, because then that way randomly you'll be able to receive something from God, because your mind, the frustration, the angst, the depression, the anxiousness, whatever it is, the sadness, it won't be dominating the mind space. It won't be dominating your analytical, logical mind. So it'll get out of it. That's what they mean by get out of God's way. Oftentimes we're in God's way, meaning our logical mind, the ruminating thoughts, the programming, the conditioning, that stuff is echoing so loud in our head, we can't get the message we need from God, which comes from the heart to the head. And it's not loud. It comes through in the form of intuition. You won't even hear it if you're too monkey-minded and frustrated and staying stuck and fixated on why. You got to shift your attention and go do something that's mindless, that don't bother you, that's fun. But either way, I just wanted to share this because that was a big aha moment. Frustration and impatience, the reason I kept getting tested on it in small ways is because he was just trying to get me to literally realize that that's the trick of the devil. He want to keep me in my head, stuck on it and thinking about that. The thing, whatever triggered the frustration or impatience, he want me to stay stuck in my head, fixated on what triggered me, versus letting the emotions flow through, getting back into a neutral space, peace of mind or state of mind. And then that way he'll speak to me and give me the clarity I need on the nugget I was supposed to gain from what I was being tested on, in other words. So I just had to record my thoughts because I thought that was real cool, and I figured maybe something I'm saying with this, hopefully it resonate with somebody. So I said I don't want to journal it right now. I just rather just record it and upload it, and hopefully it helps somebody. That's the goal. So okay, good night. Be safe.